and welcome to the workshop vlog. In today's episode, it's probably going to be quite quick because it's absolutely freezing out here. I'm wearing a really thick coat and I've just had a woolly hat on as well. So I'm going to talk about a couple of the projects I'm working on. This is the first one. So this is a bandsaw blade holder which will sit on the wall. Couple of problems with it. These gaps here I haven't made big enough. So what that means is essentially the blades won't sit in it properly. As you can see, that's sitting on the top. It should sit that far down. So I'm going to have to rebuild this, which is a slight pain, but you learn from practicing. And I thought it was really good to try it with a bit of scrap MDF. Originally this was going to be a template that I was going to use anyway to make it out of some thicker stuff. So to be honest, it's not really a loss anyway. I've still got some offcuts of plywood and some thinner stuff, so I've got plenty of wood to make it out of. And for the spacers, I'll probably have to use something more like 25mm thick, something like that. This was 18mm thick and it probably needs about another 4mm, so something like 25mm thick would be perfect. So I'll have a look what I've got. It's probably going to have to be made out of a piece of scrap hardwood. I can see a couple of bits of oak that are probably about 27mm thick, which I'll probably end up using a bit of that. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. I've also bought quite a lot of things from Axminster, which I'll overlay some clips of now. So this was the first thing I purchased, which is going to be a really helpful dust extraction hose. It's a 5 metre long extendable one, and it can also be bent into a position and it will stay in that position. So I wanted to get a slightly smaller one, but they're out of stock. And then when I did some calculations, I actually ended up needing the 5 metre one, so pretty good investment, and my dust extractor will hopefully be coming in the next few weeks, maybe a month or so. But I bought all the bits for it now, because regardless whether the extractor comes or not, because it's back ordered, so if it ends up not coming, I'll get the slightly cheaper version. But for now, I've got some parts to go with the extractor. And then I also got some dust extraction bags. Nothing particularly exciting about that, but they're a necessary purchase. And then I've got this, which is just like a Web Racks 1500 grit pad. I'll be using this to clean down the beds and cast iron surfaces on my tools and the tables, so things like the bandsaw, the lathe, sanders, before I apply machine wax. Next we've got this giant box of 1500 screws, because I keep using the little packets of screws and I go through them like anything. And on this occasion it actually worked out cheaper for me to buy this starter pack. I think it's about 25 quid, but I don't know whether that sounds expensive to you, but I do try and buy the best quality screws I can, because at the end of the day, that's what holds most of my projects together. But this nice kit is made by Axminster, and they look pretty decent. Then I've got 8 of these hooks, which are for the dust extraction hose. They'll just run around the stud bits on the plywood cladding, and these will hold the 5 metre hose on it. The hose, that 5 metre one, will mostly be used for the bandsaw and the lathe, which brings me on to my next point. Because the bandsaw is slightly older, it doesn't take a conventional 100mm port to it. So what I've had to do is buy one of these stepped adapters. So you just saw this to the required diameter, and then I can plug this into whatever tools I need. So I'll make this one to suit the bandsaw. They're about £5. They're pretty cheap for what they are. And I'll get 2 or 3 eventually, but for now, this is going to be used for the bandsaw mostly. And then something I've really been looking forward to getting is, if I find the front of it, one of these. So if I put this over this, it might not fit that well over this. So this is a Axminster wood turning smock. So I haven't adjusted it all yet, so it's going to be a bit loose, but essentially this is to keep all of the dust out, and it's got a nice comfortable neck part to it and some really nice comfortable arms. So if I zip this up, it's about 1 degree out here today. I'm struggling to feel my hands particularly. So like that, and then I can obviously do the neck right up to the top, but I think this will be really useful in the workshop, especially for turning. It's a little bit baggy around here, but I wanted to get the slightly bigger size because as I grow, I don't have to keep buying a new one. So I've got a couple more things. I did go quite crazy, but all of these things were things I wanted to get. A couple of them I got for Christmas, and then some of them I bought myself after Christmas, and a few I bought just before Christmas, I'm pretty sure. But I'm really looking forward to being able to use all these tools. They're going to be a really helpful asset in the workshop. Now this is something I'm really excited about. This is a powered respirator. Now I get slightly concerned sometimes when I'm using the lathe about all of that dust, and I do wear a proper respirator, but I just worry sometimes it would be better to have a bit of a better quality one sometimes. I've got the JSP 468, which I absolutely love, and I'll still be using it for chemical sprays and things like that, and spray paints I'll just change the filters. However, when I'm wood turning, I really want something with a bit more efficiency and capacity to remove dust. So this is what I've gone with. It's the APF 10 Evolution. It's a pad respirator basically. They're really quite expensive for what they are in my opinion, but then they're there to protect you. But when I had a good look at it, and to be honest, the actual plastic face shield is so much better quality than the cheap ones you buy that just go on your head and don't have any things in them. It's got 2 good filters in it. It's got a bump cap, which is basically not quite as good as a hard hat, but it's sort of that sort of thing. So this will be incredibly useful in the workshop, and I really cannot wait to start using it. Next up, we've got some safety cloth. Nothing much about that, I just needed to stock up on some more. And then we've got a satin acrylic lacquer. God, it's so common out here today. So yeah, we've got the gloss lacquer and the satin lacquer. Next up are these embellishing waxes from Hampshire Sheen. I've gone with the bronze and the electric blue. I think these are going to be really cool to use. Next thing was these Abranet 400 grit sanding sheets. Unfortunately, Axminster have stopped selling the small little sanding rolls I use, which are about £4. So I had to buy this, which was about £17, but it does have 50 of these sheets, and they last about 10 times longer than a normal piece of sandpaper, in my opinion. Now this is another little turning kit. Let me get this one out. So this is a thermometer kit. I'm not going to take it fully out of the packaging, but I think that'd be really cool to have a play around with. And I really just want to try new projects and challenge myself, so I've decided to get a few things like clock kits and bottle opener kits again, so I'll show you a few more of those. So for January, I've entered a little making competition where you make a clock. I decided I was going to go with a little 50mm clock from Axminster. So I'm going to be making that project, and it'll be out about the 20th of January, something like that. And I'm going to be using all kinds of things in it. I'm going to be using finials, a nice clock body made out of oak. Going to be trying some new techniques, lots and lots and lots of ski practice on it. And then I bought a bottle opener kit. I've already done one of these before, but I want to make another one, and I really want to challenge myself with it. Really try a new technique on it, maybe try scorching it, I don't know, but have some fun with it. And then I really like these. I think these are really cool, these little 40-year calendars. I just thought that'd be really cool, and they're a bit of fun really, so I thought that'd be quite nice to try and have a go with on a project. They're sticky back, and you can just drill a tiny hole for the pin that comes through. And I'm going to probably make that out of something like oak or maybe sapele. I think that'd be really awesome to have a go with though. So the last couple of things are slightly, I guess they're just useful things to have around the workshop, things like bandsaw blades. So this is the thing I'm really excited to be trying. It's the Intrinsic Colour collection from Martin Saban Smith, who makes Hampshire Sheen. Now I've been wanting to try these for ages and finally decided I would purchase them. So what they are, if I pick out one at random, let's go with this. This is the plum colour. So they're small little, how big are they? 5mm? 15ml of little colourings. So what they are is they're water-based wood dyes, and I think they'll just really improve the quality of my wood-turned items, because I've only got yellow, red and blue Libron concentrated wood dyes, which I love, but I want to sometimes have more of a fade, and I find the Libron ones, it can be harder to get a nice fade, and I've seen Martin Saban Smith use these in his videos, sorry, and he achieves a really, really awesome colour fade with them. And I know he is a colour expert on the wood turning side of things, but I thought they'd be really nice to give a go, and they're not particularly expensive, I don't think, for what they are. So next is 2 more bandsaw blades. This is a specialist ball blank cutting one. It's a back tooth bandsaw blade. It's a 5/16 and it's 4 tooth per inch. So that would be really cool. It's got tiny, tiny blades on the back of the blade, as it suggests, and I just think it'd be really, really nice to give a go with. And then I bought, I think this is probably the biggest blade my bandsaw can handle. This is a 1/2 inch 6 TPI blade. This is what I'll use for most of my straight cuts, and if I do any ripping cuts, I'll primarily use this 1/2 inch blade. So yeah, that's what I bought. It's a nice thick blade. I think they'll be really awesome in the workshop. I really do like these Excalibur bandsaw blades. I've got the 3/8 inch on my bandsaw at the moment, 3/8 inch 6 TPI, or it might be the 1/4 inch. I can't remember exactly, but anyway, I've got quite a fine blade on the bandsaw at the moment, so that I thought I would maybe try some more blades. And I did want to have a set of 3 when I originally got given this bandsaw, because then that means I've got one that I can use for a general purpose, which is what's currently on the bandsaw. I've got one which I can specialise for using with bowls, and one for specialising to use on straight cuts. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing all of those tools and things I've been purchasing. It's really going to help with the workshop, and the new big tool I've purchased is an Axminster Trade dust extractor. It's currently on back order, so I'm really hoping it's still going to be delivered. It should be, but it hasn't been dispatched yet. However, I'm going to give it at least till the end of February to see, so I'm not too concerned. But I bought all the extraction pipes, I bought all the hooks, so if not, I'll just buy a slightly different one from Axminster. I'll either go with the craft one or the slightly smaller trade one. Haven't quite decided on that though. Hopefully I can get the one that I wanted. In terms of other bits and bobs, the workshop currently looks like a tip. I'll show you what I mean. If you look around here, this is now currently the workshop, because we're having some stuff done in the house, and there's just stuff absolutely everywhere. So what it means is most of the stuff's being dumped about in here at the moment, so I can't really do that much woodworking in the workshop at the moment. Now that's not a massive problem because there's lots of other things I can be doing, so I'm trying to work on my business side of things at the moment and really working out how I want to plan things for 2021. Now, a couple of nights ago I wrote up a whole business plan of what I want to achieve this year, and I find that quite useful because it really helps me analyse what went well with the business last year. And this is mostly about wood turn and blend, but also design and make side of things as well, because I still count that as a business. Whilst it doesn't turn me over any money yet, it still counts as a business in my eyes. Things that I'm going to be changing this year: upload schedule. Last year, towards the end of it, I found I was kind of going a bit too quick with the amount of uploads. It wasn't giving me enough time to really polish off the edits and get them to that high level that I really desire. So I'm going to be bringing the upload amount down slightly. So what that means is I'm going to be having a few less uploads each month. At the moment we're going to have 2 workshop vlogs a month, maybe 1. For now I'll start with 1, and if I'm happy with it I'll up it to 2. And the workshop vlog will be done at the very start of the month. So we'll talk about everything I achieved last month, what I plan on achieving this month, and then in the next workshop vlog next month we can talk about whether I managed to achieve those goals and what I maybe want to achieve next month. So I think that'd be quite a good way of structuring things, and then I'm going to try and have 2 to 3 project videos out each month. So for January I've got the workshop vlog, which is today, clock making video, probably some resin spheres on the lathe and other things like that. I think that will really help bring the upload schedule to a good point which is sustainable. So in terms of other things I want to work on, again, projects, I really want to make this workshop the best for me, so trying to utilise this back wall for tool storage would be really helpful. Here's one of the first workshop projects, which is this bandsaw blade holder. I'm really happy with the looks. I got the idea off a Wood magazine article. It's pretty much just based off their idea, so I will make a video about this, but obviously I will credit them for the design. This is not my own design by any shape or form. It's got some of my own creative techniques on it and things, but it's not my design. I really like it though, and I think it will work really well. So I'm going to need to remake that today. Hopefully it's not too cold. The good thing about this workshop is it does heat up fairly quickly, and I can wear this coat if I'm not using the bandsaw or anything like that. Or if I am, I can roll these sleeves right up to here so that nothing gets caught in the bandsaw. Although, to be honest, I usually take this coat off and just wear my hoodie and tuck the sleeves up. So in terms of projects, that's pretty much it. I think it's going to be the resin sphere, oak bulbs, that's the other thing. So I milled up, six oak bowls out of a countertop. So this is the other project for the month, if I flip these around, is this oak countertop. So here's the oiled version and here's non-oiled. This is what I want to make about 6 of in a project video. So I'm going to make 6 oak bowls from the same size blank, but every single bowl has to have a different technique or a different style on it. So for example, one of them is going to be ebonized, one of them is going to be textured, one of them is going to be hand carved with gouges on the outside using some carving gouges to really achieve a tactile feel. The other one probably use a Dremel, the other one I might inlay with some sort of dowels and have some funky pattern or something. I just think it would be really interesting. One of them is just going to be pure oiled, no wood turners blend, just oil, and then the other one will have wood turners blend and nothing else. So I think making 6 bowls all with a different feel or a different technique would be really interesting, and it would definitely help with my technique. That's another thing I really want to focus on this year, is building my technique and my skills. I think last year, one thing I really tried to analyse my channel towards the back end of December this year, well last year now, and the main things I was looking at was my videos and how I felt most of them were very similar. So the bowl videos, they're all the same. It's here I'm turning a bowl, oh, and let's turn another bowl, and let's turn another bowl, and another bowl, and another bowl. It was the same thing, just with a different piece of wood. There was no interest particularly, in my eyes. I mean, lots of people did really enjoy the videos, which is awesome. But, for example, the hot glue gun bowl and the Shoshugi Bon bowl, those kind of bowls were much more where I wanted to be. They were much more interesting. They had something different. They weren't the kind of thing you see all over YouTube. I think it was a bit more interesting anyway. So, with these oak bowls, lots of people make oak bowls, but again, this is a segment piece out of this oak countertop, so you can see all of the lines. It's just the countertop that the builders are using in our utility room, and they also used for the sink as well. So I've got loads of it. I'm going to make some chopping boards out of it, but I'm going to try and get about 20 bulb lengths out of it, and then I can give them as gifts, birthday presents, things like that. These are small bulb lengths. These are 16 centimeters, 160 mil. My max lathe capacity is 24 centimeters or 240 mil over the bed, but I don't know whether I'm going to push it to that. I'll see. I mean, my mum's asked me to make some sort of plant pot stands thing. I don't know, but I think that needs to be about 22 centimeters, so that'll be pushing the lathe pretty far for its size capacity. But I think adding a flair or something different, or my own personal techniques on projects, I think that's where I want to be with this channel. It's about challenging myself and challenging you guys, I guess, to give something a go that's maybe out of your comfort zone. Everything's been it's not really pushed me enough. So, for example, the snowmen, I've always wanted to turn it and thought, maybe not, because it involves the skew and I don't particularly like the skew. I gave it a go and I absolutely loved using the skew. I'd probably say the skew is probably my favourite tool at the moment. I really, really enjoyed it, so much so that I'm now making this clock for this clock making competition. Pretty much the only tool I'll be using is a skew and maybe a bit of a round scraper, and probably the parting tool to help with parting stuff off. But primarily I want to use the skew because I feel the skew is quite a hated tool in wood turning, and I don't really know why. I mean, I didn't like the idea of using it, but actually it's a really nice tool to use, and I feel it really takes a project so much further, and you can roll the beads and get the coves in the projects, and it looks so much nicer. So the snowman definitely challenged me, and I did have some errors with it, as I pointed out in the video. Bandsaw cart challenged me. Some videos will just be sort of like fairly simple things, but videos that I think are quite cool to share with you. I am going to be trying to do some more reviews and things, because my lathe review did really well. That performed really well. I think it's got about 2,000 views now. And lots of people left me some really positive comments saying how much it helped them with the lathe and things. So I think it'd be good to do that with the Axminster 125 BDS sander and my bench grinder, because there's only 2 or 3 videos and they're not in English. So most of my audience are English, so it'd be quite helpful to have a video out there in English that people will be able to learn from and understand how good the tool really is. So yeah, there's a couple of things I really don't like about the belt and disc sander, and there's some things that I think are absolutely brilliant on it. So I think the importance of doing these videos is it will really help to showcase what I like and what I dislike, but it's not going to be quite a review. I like to call it an in-depth review, because I tend to talk about the technical specification of it, and then my opinion, some other people's reviews, and how Axminster to describe it, I guess. So yeah, those will be coming out probably mid-January, maybe February. The resin spheres maybe February, but as I said, probably 3 project videos, 1 workshop vlog, which will give 4 videos a month. That means I have about roughly a week to do each video, which gives me enough time to edit it and things like that. And with this second lockdown, I've got a lot more time to do that sort of thing in the evening. So yeah, I'm really happy with how things are going at the moment. My channel is performing really well. I think I'm at about 380 something subs now, and I'd love to reach 400 maybe by the end of January. My long-term goal for this year, which is very, very ambitious, considering last year I was only at about 30 subs when I started, I really want to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And by March, I would quite like to reach 500 subscribers. I think all of that's achievable, as long as I put out the right videos that you guys are enjoying, which I realise is kind of obvious. If you put out the right videos, then people will watch them. But I really did spend quite a lot of time. I probably spent a whole day going through my channel, analysing most of my videos, planning how I want the channel to progress. And I realise I'm talking a lot about this, but I think it's really important to make my channel the best it can be. I'm not a professional woodworker by any means, but I think showing your journey and really including all the mistakes in a project makes it feel more personal, I guess, and helps you guys learn as well from it. Because what I sometimes used to do with my videos was just go, okay, that's an edit, I'll just, let's include that clip, let's not bother with that one. And I didn't really think about why I was including the clips. So now with my projects, I'm trying to think about why I might be including a clip, what the viewer might think about this, whether that's going to be an enjoyable part of the video. So the bandsaw cut, I tried to include every mistake that I'd made, And then at the end I sort of like to do an overview of the project, what went well and what I kind of struggled with on the project. And I think that really helps with the videos. So that's probably about it for this workshop vlog as far as I'm aware. If you're interested in purchasing any wood turners blends or things like that, have a look in the description down below. I'm going to be making a new description for 2021. I've got loads and loads of plans for how I want the channel to progress. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which will probably be making this bandsaw blade organiser, or it may be the belt and disc sander review. Not entirely sure yet, but anyway, thank you for watching.